All right, let's take it to our medical students. How do you recommend pre-meds find productive research opportunities? And what projects did you get involved in, and how did that shape your healthcare goals? So, Omar, would you like to start this?
Sure. It matters about your network, and there's a very big network of both UPNA physicians that do productive research, and also in like your local communities at local hospitals as well. And so the way I did it personally was just cold emailing and asking people, hey, this is my experience in research, and this is what I want to do. And I was taken on just as just a data person, just to kind of crunch things up in an Excel sheet in the beginning. And that's how it starts. You build rapport with someone, and then you kind of build and build, and you finally get to some place where you and your mentor trust each other enough to publish something. And that's kind of how I've seen it for me. And so the projects that I've gotten involved in, both pre-med and in medical school, have all been, I guess, earned with that cold email and then just gaining the trust of a mentor. So it really is just putting yourself out there, asking for an opportunity, and then working hard after you get that.
Hmm. Just be persistent, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shamir, would you like to comment?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so sort of similar thing. I also just uh I went to Tulane for undergrad, and we didn't really have like I know some schools have like sort of databases and stuff with PIs and what sort of research they're doing and whatnot. So if your school has that, that's fantastic, and definitely look in there. My school didn't have that, so I did the same sort of thing. I just cold emailed a bunch of professors. Um, like everybody has different interests in terms of what research they want to do, but maybe you're interested in some sort of field that takes some research experience. At first of all, I was interested in like MRI, neuro MRI research, and I knew I couldn't get into lab immediately, so I just cold emailed a bunch of professors, joined a lab. Someone had told me that they'd be willing to take me, and I worked with them, and I got that experience. And then eventually, later on, I reached out to the lab that I was actually interested in, showed them my experience, showed my work ethic, got the reference and whatnot for my current PI, and moved to that one. So, it's all about getting experience, and it's going to be difficult if you want a certain position in a certain lab. Maybe it is going to be a little bit difficult to get that immediately, but it's totally fine if when you're first doing research, you do some sort of basic stuff that you don't really care about. It's all about the experience first, and once you build that sort of build that experience and build that reputation, and have a reference in a reference you can use, then reaching out to that lab that you're interested in working with, that has a good reputation that you may want to work with. That's definitely the best way I think to do it. So yeah, cold emailing is definitely how I did, and just sort of building that reputation would be my advice.
Okay, great. Sada, did you have a similar experience?
Actually, I did. Like, I went to the University of Texas at Dallas, and the way a lot of pre-meds found research opportunities was by reaching out to faculty themselves. So I did email a couple of professors. I was a psychology major back in undergrad, so I kind of wanted to explore more, like, mental illness, psychiatric conditions. So I did email my child development teacher, for example, and asked her, like, hey, like, I'm interested in your lab. I saw the research you've done online. I've seen what projects the lab is involved in, and I'd like to get involved as well. And she's like, of course, like, go ahead and send me the application. And she like attached it to the email. So I filled it out, and a lot of my duties just included like data entry, running participants, and it was great to like interact with other people and like get involved in these research studies, because I feel like I learned a lot through what I've done, the work I've done. Sometimes your undergrad institution might hold like research fairs where people like representatives from a lab may come and present what type of work they do. And it's all about networking and reaching people out on your own for the most part, but usually professors are pretty receptive if they have openings in their lab.
All right, great. And just to point out in the chat, Dr. Jamshed let us know that UT Dallas McDermott Honors Program does offer opportunities for pre-med students. So anyone at UTD, make sure to check that out.
Yumna, can I follow up with
Yes.
a couple of pointers? Absolutely cold email people and reach out. But let me tell you what is very disconcerting for me receiving those emails is if I get an email and I stop my day and somebody XYZ emails me, I respond back and I ask 3 more questions. Hey, tell me more, blah, blah, blah. And a week goes by before that person responds. I'm never going to look at that email. I'm just going to delete it. I'm not going to bother with it, so that everybody on the call knows you're the one who's asking. You have to be immediately available and immediately responsive, because between the time that you reached out to me, I paused my day, responded to you. It was not important enough for you to reach back, right? So that's number one. Number two, when you structure your email, don't send us a one-page, PhD dissertation. Send us just the basic facts and how you got my name, right? How did you get that? I think that's helpful. Somebody mentioned, cold call, absolutely. If you want to send me an email, it's probably a good idea. Hey, I looked at your paper on XYZ. This is something that I'm interested in. Immediately, that will focus me to say, hey, this person is reasonable, they're thoughtful, and they actually do care about the email that they're sending. If you just say, hey, I'm in undergrad at UT Austin, I'm interested in research, do you have anything? You're not going to get anything from us. It's just not going to work. It just tells me that you don't have the bandwidth to educate yourself about me before sending me an email.
All right, that definitely makes sense. So be quick. That's a very good piece of advice.